Welcome to FedScoop TV and StateScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here today at the Public Sector Innovation Summit, and my guest today is Teri Takai. Teri is board member at the FirstNet Public Safety Broadband Network. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Wyatt. Happy to be here.
We really appreciate it. We would like to explore a little bit of your thoughts on innovation. It's a word that is used in many contexts. There's a lot of meanings to it. Let's start by, what do you think of when you think of innovation, and what does it mean to you?
Well, I think the challenge of innovation is really bringing solutions to, in this case, the public safety community, right, in ways that could not have been envisioned before. The other thing I'd tell you about innovation is that people tend to think of it as you start with a clean sheet of paper, which is a terminology, quite frankly, that I find rather frustrating. I think that one of the important parts of innovation is to be able to build on what you already have, to really take that to a level that that you've not seen before. But then I think the third thing is that it's implementable, that it's a solution that effectively is cost-effective, but yet sparks the imagination of individuals or organizations to actually use that technology very productively, and then be able to take it to the next level.
Well, it's very important, because there's a lot of innovation that never gets out of the box, right? Taking that one step further, we're in an era now where cloud and mobility have given us new capabilities. How do you see them continuing to drive efficiency and effectiveness, and also savings for agency and maybe the broader public sector?
Well, I think, first of all, cloud is foundational to all of that, because I think we're, as you know, very much moving away from individual organizations actually managing their data within their own technical infrastructure. Now, there's still some of that. Of course, as you know, I come from the DoD, and moving to cloud technologies is very difficult and has a lot of issues with it, particularly around security and so on. But if you think about the combination of what does cloud bring and mobility, we're really now starting to see, and particularly from a government perspective, the demand for government employees as well as citizens to want to have more and more on their mobile devices. I think everyone really knows that. So I really think that what we're going to continue to see is a move away from the traditional applications, the way that we've always seen them. We're going to move away from traditional application development methodologies, and that's happening slowly. It's getting momentum, but agile development, being able to move to much more user/customer-centric development is really what's going to start happening. And so therefore, with that, the pace of change in terms of the applications is going to change. Not going to be quick. There's still a significant amount of legacy that CIOs struggle with and grapple with, quite rightly so. But I think it is going to be a continuing demand. And I think the kinds of applications that we're going to see 20 years from now are going to be reflective of the change in applications, only even more so.
I'd like to pick up the thread of security that you mentioned. So all this modernization, do you see it enhancing or improving the ability to secure systems, or do you see it adding some new layers of complications that make it kind of harder for folks that manage these systems?
I actually think it's both, to tell you the truth. I think that some of the speed with which we're going to be developing, the speed with which we're going to be taking applications to market, we're really starting to see changes in the way that application development is done, with security in mind. So number one, I think that we're going to see those kinds of techniques and tools in application development sort of try to match the speed of application development. But at the same token, when you develop very quickly, when you change the way that you do your testing methodologies, for instance, you do increase vulnerabilities. And I think that we're going to need to start looking at, number one, not only building security into our applications, but we're also going to need to continue to look at things like behavioral analytics so that we can see who's on the network, as well as what we're seeing in terms of new software-based technologies to really move away from what we used to think of as perimeter defense and endpoint defense to much more proactive defense inside the network. So. I think that that's really one of our challenges going forward is, how do we introduce the kind of development and rapid development that we want, but yet at the same token be able to improve security. I think that's a challenge that's out there for many companies, both in the standpoint of technology companies that are delivering solutions, but also for organizations who are really going to be developing the solutions and getting them out to the public and to their customers.
Well, lastly, as you kind of look on the horizon, what do you see next for the public sector, and maybe what you see coming down the pipeline for FirstNet and how innovation is giving that whole effort new legs, if you will?
Well, let me speak about that from a public safety perspective.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's so terrific about FirstNet that I've been so excited about is that, in fact, the Public Sector Communications Research Organization out in Boulder, Colorado, there was $300 million set aside in the FirstNet funding for innovation. And that's really around integration of our current LMR networks. It's integration from new, sort of 3D geospatial kinds of solutions. And I think the real future of FirstNet's going to be, interestingly enough, as many people might have thought it was going to be moving to voice, but I really think it's going to be innovative application solutions that will be available across the country for any public safety organization that wants to use them. And I think, I sort of relate it to, I think, as you know, now the young people today don't think about picking up their cell phones and talking.
Right.
Right? What they think about is what's the text, what are the applications, how do I get to people through those applications. And I think that there's a kind of a corollary there to the way that FirstNet is going to grow and kind of the use of the data and how it's really going to be about what are those applications that really increase that collaboration, really increase that sharing of data in ways that just were not possible on a nationwide basis before.
Well, it sounds exciting. It sounds like you have a front row seat to see some of this unfold. And
I do. I'm very fortunate.
I
yes.
wish you good luck with that. And thank you for stopping by and sharing some of your insights with us.
Not at all. Always happy to do that.
Terrific. You can find more of our coverage on innovation and technology at fedscoop.com and statescoop.com. I'm Wyatt Cash. Thanks for watching.